and super duper. Oh, why has it just gone to that? Okay, my delicious babies, I'm very sorry about this. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful and beautiful little lovelies out there. And how I love you all so. Little angels, you all are. Okay, my delicious babies, I want to show you something, okay, because something's happened here. I actually put it on record and then something's happened. So I won't be a moment, my delicious babies, okay? What we got to do now, we just got to have a little tiny walk. Is that red pen or something in there? These are very old drawers, you know, my delicious babies. They're over 100-year-old. Beautiful set of drawers. Can you see like where they look like little tiny bows? This piece here is just over 100-year-old, my delicious babies, yes. See, just down there just needs a tiny bit of restoration, but it could do with being a lighter colour, if you know what I mean. This is a bit too dark for my liking. Okay, my delicious babies, now then let's go and sit back down. See, yeah, my room's yet to be done. But right now I'm just enjoying the solitude with no curtains up or no nothing. I just like it to be as free as possible, if you get what I'm saying, my delicious babies. Anyway, so that's the chest of drawers, my delicious babies, you know, that I've been talking about. Some would call me rambling. I do not think so. You know what I mean, my delicious babies. Now then, so it's the time, Mr. Wolf. So it's probably around 12:21 p.m. in our old England, my delicious babies, on the 28th of May 2026. And the sun is shining, the weather is sweet, yeah. Yeah, you see, sorry, excuse me, because I have a teal chest of drawers, which is over 50-year-old, you know, with a beautiful, dear Spanish couple, okay, who got married, you know, and then the colour was, you know, the set of drawers. Rubes, please, babe. Thank you. The set of drawers, my delicious babies, were then painted teal. You know what I mean, my delicious babies? So this room here is going to be a lovely teal colour with, you know, the brighter teal. You know, there's different colours of teal, isn't there, my delicious babies? But this is going to be a brighter one with orange cushions, you know, brighter orange cushions, you know what I mean? Not the burnt type, you know, because you got burnt orange. You know what I mean? This will be, there we are, much brighter. Okay, my delicious babies. But if I can get your little baby there at some point restored, I don't know, you know. I don't want to give her away. You know, she's too old. You know what I mean? My delicious baby, they just do not make it like this now then. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean yes. Okay? Now then, I have one video today, and I hope that wherever you are in the world, that life is treating you most deliciously. Before I just give out one video, my delicious babies, today, I have got prickly heat. You can probably see it, my delicious babies. I've got a bit of prickly heat. Now, it's all across my chest, and it's all here. Okay, my delicious little babies. Anyway, a little bit on my tummy, my tum-tum. Tom. That doesn't mean that I've had a tom sitting on my tummy. You know what I mean? My delicious babies can't. Anyway, so what is it that I want to say, my delicious babies? So I've only been suffering this the past, is it 3 or 4 years? With prickly heat. I never used to suffer with it, my delicious babies. You see, I never ever had, you know, any allergies. I never had any, believe it or not, no. no allergies, no nothing. But in the past 3 or 4 years, whenever my skin meets the sun, and I love the sun, and the sun loves me, my delicious babies, but I end up with prickly heat. Anyway, not to worry, not to worry. You know, there's a really old white Volvo, rewind and start again. A really old white Volvo estate that's just gone driving up the road. I'm seeing a lot of Volvos. Oh, now it's going back down again. Okay, my delicious babies. I've seen red ones. I've seen, and you know, when I look at these cars, my delicious babies, it takes my noddle back. There we are, to better times. You know what I mean, my delicious babies, yes. So, one of the things now, then talking about Volvos was so this is not rehearsed, by the way. This is just something coming into my noddle, my delicious babies. Going back decades ago, okay, there used to be somebody who I knew. Not in that way, not in that way. They're a beautiful, dear little couple. They were like two peas in a pod. And of course, I knew him from when I was 11, okay? And anyway, they were together, himself and his lovely little wife, you know. Well, they weren't married, but, you know, as good as, okay? Because they'd both been married before, you know. And they were just quite happy just to be together. But let me tell you, there's nothing that each other wouldn't do for each other. They absolutely, there we are, adored one another. And of course, once, you know, she happened to be one of my beautiful dear friends. Once she passed away, my delicious babies, I really just do not truly feel that he was ever the same. You know, so when she went, a piece of him went, you know what I mean? My delicious babies. But yeah, they met when I was 18. You know what I mean? My delicious babies anyway. But around that time, he used to have a friend, he used to have a Volvo, and he used to have a business. And of course, his line of business, you know, well, basically, let's just say what goes on now, my delicious babies, okay? I'm not inciting anything, I'm just talking about the past, you know. You know, he wasn't the kind of your man now then to put up with sharp. Well, none of them were, you know what I mean, Marge? It's just the babies, not at all, not at all. And those were the days. Those were the days, my friend. We thought they'd never end. Okay, where you know, ones could have a good time. You know what I mean? Let's just say there we are. Politely speaking, hold their own, and never a problem now. But I'm going back. There we are, decades ago. Okay, my delicious little babies, yes. Um, but of course, over the decades, you know, it seems to have changed. You're probably saying to yourself, what's this crazy woman talking about? No, I'm not crazy at all. That doesn't mean yes, not at all. Okay. If anybody was to come in to say your man's establishment, you know, his line of business, well, you know, put it this way, um, well, let's just say, you know, there was, if there was any trouble, you know, well, the trouble, there we are, would still get sorted. Do you see what I mean, Marty? Babies, yes. No problem. It's all right. That's our lovely dear purse man. Not in that way, not in that way. Anyway, so, Ribbit, stop it, please. Stop it. So, she does it all the time. What is it? Thank you. Oh, it's all right. I'm just doing the video, sweet. I hope that your beautiful self, your beautiful family's all well. Thank you. Yeah, he's just delivering a message to you, Rudy. Yeah, letters. I gotta get a message to you. Whoa, whoa, One more hour and my life will be through. Whoa, whoa. Mm. What year were the songs mad? Delicious Little Babies. Let's get back to the matter in hand. So, yeah. So, when there were problems mad, Delicious Little Babies, well, you know, they'd usually be, there we are, dealt with, rather, there we are, shall we say, quickly. You know what I mean? Okay? There goes that Volvo again, mad, Delicious Little Babies. Rubes! Yeah. Yeah. So, I'm just doing my. Oh. Are you what? Hang on, one sec. Sorry, Martish babies, please and thank you. I'm so sorry about that, Martish babies. I've just flipping banged my effing knee. Now then, Martish babies, it's all right. I'm just taking a parcel, but it had to be signed for anyway for a neighbour. Anyway, Martish babies, so sorry about this. It probably seems rather chaotic, my video today. No, it's not. The video's not the video. See, I'm not changing my video, Martish. Do you know what I mean? I'm just getting bloody ratty. Not with you, Martin, it's just the babies. The Volvo's gone back up the road. Oh, there we go, down again. Okay, Martin, the babies, but who used to own his establishment? Getting back to the matter in hand, he used to swear by the Volvos. He used to swear by them. You know what I mean? What a wonderful car. You know, as long as you've got a good mechanic, you know, the Volvo will just keep rolling, keep those wheels rolling. Anyway, I hope that wherever you are, that you're feeling the love, you continue to feel the love, my little honey bunnies. Yeah, so he never used to put up with crap. You know what I mean, Martin, babies. There was one evening, but like I said, I'm going back decades ago. There was one evening where, you know, a bit of a problem now then. And all the other, let's just say, workers there now then, they went behind the door, but not my friend. No. He never. He went out, there we are, and dealt with, there we are, and let's say there was rather a lot, okay? And he dealt with it, then someone else came out to help him. So you're probably going to say to yourself, mad, delicious little babies, what's this crazy woman talking about? I'm just done saying it. I'm not going to mention anything more about it. Not at all. And who I'm talking about now would be well in his, you know, probably 80 odd. So, okay, mad, delicious little babies. So that's that really, mad, delicious little babies. That's that now then. So I only have one video today, my delicious little babies. So this uploader happens to have 79 subscribers, my delicious little babies, okay? And by the way, I never insert anything. I'm just explaining a reality. There we are, a reality, what happened decades ago. Never really any problems, never came back again. No. Now then, my delicious little babies. So, 79 subscribers, my delicious little babies. So this, I've never seen this one before, my delicious little babies, and I'm going to explain to you how I managed to get this uploader with anybody not in that way, not in that way. This uploader on YouTube, my delicious little babies, this video is an hour and 40 odd minutes long, my delicious little babies. And the uploader's called capital A Actionable space capital T Truth space capital M Media. So I'll repeat this again for you, my delicious little babies. All spaces, Actionable Truth Media. This video was uploaded 7 days ago, my delicious little babies, okay? And the video should read, Yes, I was rather shocked at this, my delicious babies, but at least I've got, there we are, ding, ding, dong, dong, the truth of what happened. UK column and then it's got a curly hand and then another hand. The alternative media scene in the UK with Debbie Evans and Sandy Adams. I never needed to stumble there, my delicious babies. I'm just going to repeat this again for you. UK column, curly hand and then hand. The alternative media scene in the UK with Debbie Evans and Sandy Adams. Yes, my delicious babies, this is going to be the only video for today. Now then, my delicious babies, so what is it that I want to talk about? So I'm around halfway through listening to this video today, my delicious babies. Now, I always wondered where our lovely Debbie Evans went, and our lovely Sandy Adams, who you've seen, from time to time now. Then on our lovely UK column, my delicious babies, okay. And I was wondering where dear Debbie had gone to. Okay, mind you, I could say the same about our lovely The Charlie Ward show. Okay. Before I proceed any further, this is not a knock at other channels. It is not. Okay. But I wondered where Paul Brooker was as well, because we haven't seen him. And I enjoyed listening to Paul Brooker, not in that way as well. I really adored listening to our lovely Debbie Evans and our lovely dear Sandy Adams. You know what I mean? You see, when you get information, my delicious babies, remember the angels. When you get information, my delicious babies. So the fact of the matter is, I mean, at the end of the day, that should be, there we are, most respected, shouldn't it? Okay. But if you take a listen to this video, my delicious babies, well, I've got to be honest, because I actually put a comment, which I do not always do, on our lovely UK column. And I was thanking our dear Diana and her dear guest, because they're talking all about face recognition and all of this. And, well, basically, words to effect, how it's having a severe, there we are, I feel, negative impact, there we are, on all of our lives. My delicious babies, I rightfully stumbled there. Okay, because it's not going to what it should be. Simple things, and I know this myself. Anybody else with half a noddle, that's not me being sarcastic, just done getting the message across. Should know this. You know what I mean, my delicious babies, yes. So, and then that's where they put a link. I do not know how to do all that, my delicious babies. I'm just not tech savvy. Anyway, so I got the link and I thought, oh, I'll look at this video. And it's got our lovely Debbie Evans, our lovely Sandy Adams, and the uploader, bless. Okay, and we're hearing all about this now, aren't we, my delicious babies? And all that this has done, there we are, is confirmed. There we are, that I knew something, there we are, was wrong. Now, there's also, probably another couple of channels where, there we are, I've seen changes. Changes. Okay, there we are, my delicious babies, you know what I mean, yes. And I've seen it. You see, you can see, for those of us who are blessed to see, and I'm blessed to hear. Do you know what I mean? So to myself, there we are, you notice a change. And what I've been extremely shocked about, however, are our beautiful dear little Debbie, our beautiful dear little Sandy, bless you both, okay? Not in that way, you know what I mean? I only swing one way, you know what I mean? My delicious babies, that doesn't mean no. And that's not me being disrespectful to anybody else. I want them to prosper. But it's amazing when you cannot say, there we are, what you want to say. Okay, my delicious babies. So this, let's just say, created a few difficulties, my delicious babies, yes. Now, what I'm really to be honest, shocked about is the way that I feel that they were, that we are treated. Okay. So really, for my little babies, if you could please and thank you, take a listen to this video. Now, some in the alternative media, but ones have got to remember me very good now. There we are. I'm very nicely with what I'm going to be done saying. That's going to come out my trap now. I am not like yourselves. Okay. Let me get this. There we are. Very straight in my camera. I'm not yourselves. I do this as a hobby. Okay. I've gone through a plenty, isn't it? We're spying on me. They're still there we are. They're still doing it now. Even though they've gone very quiet, they're still, there we are, doing it now. They've put another hole in the grass up the road up there. Okay, so they're not gone. Okay, my delicious babies. So what they do is they use, there we are, for what they need. That is why I always say, like, when you've got somebody, like I'm in a camera now, I do what I do as a hobby. Okay, and furthermore, and I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, my delicious babies, I would never in a million years, from what I've been hearing on this video, I'm very, very, there we are, very disturbed by this, my delicious babies, okay? I will continue to listen to UK Column. Yes, I will. But it has certainly made me see, there we are, behind the scenes. So that's not me being a bitch, UK Column, or to any other alternative media. But you've got to remember, I'm not living your lives. And when I'm in the camera, you don't have friends, isn't it? They'll pretend, there we are, to be your friends or to be, you know, whatever. But they're not. None of them are. You're just on a screen. You know what I mean? And it appears, you know, you meet face to face, it's pretty much the same, babies, from what I was hearing on the video. Okay? So, you know, that's all I'm going to say about my video, my delicious babies. So if my video seems to be a little bit chaotic today, no, it's not. I was showing you something. There we are, very nicely, very good. I'm not shouting at you, my delicious babies. My videos very rarely ever get out anyway. But I'll make a point of, you know, putting on my title, journalists and who is real. There we are, that's just came into my model, journalists and who is really real. There we are, my delicious babies. I do not personally believe that when you take somebody on, especially with dear Debbie now then, and she did it, there we are, voluntary, okay? And, you know, I bet you if we was to look at this really realistically, get our old Mr. Magoo flipping specs on, there's many more who've done exactly the same. Okay, so UK Column will not be on their own. But it's amazing, my delicious babies, there we are, when one hand changed, there we are, to the next. And they're mentioning a lot of China, you know, that you cannot mention China. Well, for myself, my delicious babies, I'm not talking about the Chinese, although I did say, what was it, a couple of months ago or something, which I did, because I've seen how they can act now. But of course, they have been hardened, you know, from whatever o'clock young now then, there we are, where they have to, you know, do a lot of things now then, just to stay alive, my delicious babies, you know what I mean? But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, and I was done a long time talking about all of the old bill stations, police, as some would know the saying, police stations in our old England, my delicious babies. I mean, come on, not to mention anywhere else, I should imagine. Do you know what I mean, my delicious babies? But when it comes down to now that you cannot talk to anybody about, you know, and of course my videos didn't never get out anyway, but you know, when you cannot talk to anybody in your camera about, oh, you know, China, you cannot say nothing. And I noticed the changes, and not only that, I did see comments here and there on UK Column where, you know, ones had even said, there we are, they were going to, the odd one, I'm not listening anymore, because they were bringing in, I mean, for myself personally, I listened to UK Column. I only said yesterday evening, it was only yesterday evening before I've seen this video today, I said, I mean, I went to go and see our lovely, not in that way, our lovely dear David Ark, and his dear sons, Gareth, Jamie, dear Richard. They're all just so dear, okay, and dear Sam, and I really enjoyed doing that, but I wouldn't go travelling. I only said it yesterday evening, and my bathroom door was open. I only said it yesterday evening. Look at that. Something just said to myself, not. You know what I mean? Okay, maybe if I had seen them a couple of decades ago, that would have been different. Do you know what I mean? But I will still listen. Of course, I will. You listen, but I notice that they do not say a lot. They just do not. And there's others who I listen to, not very many, who also do not say a lot. Sorry, Martinish babies, yes, stumbled there, rightfully so. I'm not changing my video. But then when I mentioned about not in that way, Simon Space Dixon on her YouTube, My Delicious Babies, who's now up to 156,000, he did a brilliant video yesterday evening. What's that called? Is it the McCormack Show? He's got 300 subscribers on YouTube, My Delicious Babies. It was nearly an hour and 50-minute long, and I was listening to it, My Delicious Babies, and let me be done telling you, there we are, they talk, there we are, real, especially Simon. But Simon's not doing it for the ka-ching. That's the difference, My Delicious Babies, you know what I mean, okay? Because he has his own businesses, whatever, you know what I mean? Bless anybody who does that. But anyway, you soon see the truth. So my title for this is going to be Journalists. Oh, I've got to remember now. Journalists. Oh, anyway, I'll have a listen and then I'll, upload it. But yeah, this is not me being a bitch. I've noticed it on others. But it's very true. And when you listen, it's like I said a long time, these are not your friends. They pretend to be. They pretend, but they're not. You know what I mean? My delicious babies. Now for myself, I'm like cut from the same cloth as Debbie Evans. Do you understand what I mean? Okay, you take ones on face value. You know what I mean? You can usually weigh them up pretty quickly, but you know what I mean. But you go with good faith. Okay. But you soon realise, my delicious babies, it's very different. Just let me please put you on pause, please, and thank you, my delicious babies. I'm sorry about that, my delicious babies. Anyway, so that's the end of the video, my delicious babies. Kai just had to pop out a minute. So that's that really, my delicious babies. But I personally do not feel that anybody, no matter what company it is or whatever else, that they should, let's just say, be able to talk about anybody else on the planet, but you're not allowed to talk about certain, like China. You know what I mean? But it goes to show, my delicious babies, how many's got there we are, a ka-ching, ching, 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 a bit of a staking. There we are, things now, you know what I mean? Yes. So this is not myself being a bitch, so if any alternative media feel that way, my delicious babies, well, rock on, Tommy, with your old braces. Now get on your back and pedal fast, because I don't want to hear the shit. You know what I mean? Not when you treat, there we are, in my belief, in my model, when you treat ones who are, there we are, decent, and they see you as being, a friend. I mean, I know that they're saying business, there are no friends, you know what I mean? You cannot have friends in business, but the fact of the matter is, that's just an old-fashioned, decades-old saying, my delicious babies. But the fact of the matter is that when you've got decent, you know what I mean, and then let's just say figure of speech, you've had your pound of flesh, and then you just dump them. Do you know what I mean? That is not very sociable, my delicious babies. Do you know what I mean? But I noticed, like I said, long time. And I noticed on a couple of other channels as well. So they're not friends. They're not friends. And let me tell you, for any other uploaders out there, my delicious babies, let me tell you, I hope that you're not, but you'll probably be spied on where they want to know all your business now. Do you know what I mean? There we are, because they're very good at doing that, where they want to know your business and my business, my delicious babies, you know what I mean? And they're all happy to chat together. You know what I mean? My delicious babies. But you know what? I wouldn't want to be any of those in a million years. Never. Okay? Because what they've got over their head now, isn't it, is not what I've got over mine. And that doesn't mean yes, it's no. Okay? So until my next video, my delicious little babies, whether it's morning, afternoon or evening, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies. Sending peace, love, harmony and bright blessings to each and every one of you. May your beautiful little selves, your beautiful little families, may you all be fully protected. How I love you so. But yes, I still listen to UK Colin, but to tell you the truth, you know, am I happy? Do I feel happy about what I've heard? Certainly not. But it's amazing, isn't it, my delicious little babies? They're not the only one. There we are, thousands. Exactly the same, my delicious babies. It's just amazing when you're being caught. Like I did a short video, my delicious babies, straight in the net. Okay, my delicious little babies. Now you just, take care of yourselves now, my delicious little babies, and please try to take care of others, isn't it? I also remember one time not so long ago when UK Column actually put up on my channel, was it UK Column Extra? Anyway, I never mentioned it, there we are, but I was fully aware of it. I personally, with anyone really, I do not pay for memberships or anything. As far as I'm concerned, what I do is a hobby, and if I decide to advertise somebody, then I do, but if I do not, I do not. Simple things. I'm not in the same boat as them. And that's not being nasty, my delicious little babies, because for myself, I'm not getting paid to do it. But for these, it's a lot of ka-ching, ching, 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 ching. And I couldn't give a figures F what anybody thinks of myself, because they're all chatty, 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 chatty. Who gives a figures F? Get on your back and pedal fast. You're living your life, isn't it? Let others, like myself, live mine. So until my next video, my delicious little babies, how I love you all so. You're super, super duper wonderful, never needed to stumble. Super duper beautiful and super duper delicious, okay? And how I love you so. And whatever o'clock it is, please, I hope that you're having beautiful weather like we are this week. But it was a massive storm last night with the thunder. It's like thunder, lightning. You know what I mean? My delicious babies, yes. Yeah, thunder and lightning, my delicious babies. But today is a super duper and delicious day, so I'm going to enjoy it. And I hope that you all enjoy wherever you are in the world, whatever weather you have. So until my next video, love ya, take care, thank you, goodbye.